Hi, welcome to Key Skill 2. We're going to be looking at all different examples today of completing the square. This is a topic that causes a lot of problems, so I hope I can clear this up for you today. Express x squared plus 4x minus 60 in the form bracket x plus a close bracket squared plus b. Hence, find the roots. The hence find the roots might be a part B. What you need to do is, first of all, open up your brackets, and to see what goes in the A space, so to see what goes here, you take the number that is in front of the x, okay, and you divide it by 2, or you take the half. So in this case we have 4, we take the half, and it's 2. And then I'm going to close up my bracket like that. So I've halved the 4 to get 2. Now this is the tricky bit. You need to subtract, and it's always subtract this number, whatever number you've put here, squared. Then you're going to write underneath your minus 60. So this case, it's x plus 2 squared minus 4 minus 60. So I've got x plus 2 squared minus 64. If I compare that to how I was asked to express it, I can see that my a is 2 and my b is minus 64. A is equal to 2 and b is equal to minus 64. So I can use this version now to solve this equation. Instead of solving x squared plus 4x minus 60 equals to 0, I'm going to put in my completed version, and I'm going to let that equal to 60. So instead of doing x squared plus 4x minus 60 equal to 0, I use the completed square version. I bring the minus 64 from this side over here. So it will become a plus 64. Remember, whenever a minus changes sides, it will become a plus. So 0 plus 64 is 64. Start the next page with this. Okay, what I'm going to do now is take the square root of both sides. When I take the square root of the left-hand side, because there's a power 2 and a square root, they're inverse operations, so they will cancel each other out. So I'll just be left with x plus 2. Now, the square root of 64 is 8, because 8 times 8 is 64. But you have to remember that it's also minus 8. Minus 8 times minus 8. Minus times the minus is plus. 8 times 8 is 64. So this will be plus or minus 8. So let's continue. From here, I'm going to leave that there. And I'm going to slide this plus 2 over. And because it's traveled over the equal sign, it's going to become a minus. So I'll get two answers here. I like to call this x plus. I'll get minus 2 plus 8, which is 8 take away 2, or minus 2 plus 8 is 6. That's my first answer. And my second answer will be using the minus. So in this situation, I'll do minus 2 minus 8. Minus 2 minus 8 is minus 10. So those will be my two solutions obtained from completing the square. Let's do another example of completing the square, and this time we're going to go a little bit faster. We've got x squared, we've got express x squared plus 8x minus 9 in the form that we recognize, and find the roots. So I'm going to open up my brackets, And here I have plus 8, so the half of plus 8 is plus 4. And then that bracket gets closed up. I subtract this number squared, so 4 squared. And then I also have the minus 9 that was there before. So half of 8 is 4, minus 4 squared, minus 9. So x plus 4 squared minus 16 minus 9. I'm going to add together minus 16 and minus 9, that's minus 25. And that you will see my a is 4 and my b is minus 25. The a, 4, and the b, minus 25. Now, if I want to complete this equation equals to 0, just like before, instead of using this version, I'm going to use this version. I'm going to bring the minus 25 to the other side, and that will change from minus 25 to plus 25. I'm going to take the root now. Remembering two things when I take the root. The squared and the root will cancel out, that's x plus 4. And the 25 will have two roots, not only plus 5, but minus 5. And then I bring the plus 4 to the other side, minus 4, plus minus 5. My positive answer being minus 4 plus 5, which is 1, and my negative answer being minus 4 minus 5, which is minus 9. This method is really useful if you don't have a calculator with you. This question looks very similar, but it's a little bit harder because we have an odd number. So when we divide 3 by 2, we'll get 1.5. It can be tricky to work with decimals. What I recommend you do is work with fractions. That is going to be minus. So 3 divided by 2 squared. And then we always subtract. I'm going to keep this in brackets so we don't make any mistakes. 3 over 2 squared. And then we have the plus 2. Okay. This part is finished, x minus 3 over 2 squared. Now here we have to put the squared on both of them. 3 squared is 9, 2 squared is 4. I want to add these two together, so what I need to do is make a common denominator. Right now this is 4, and if you want to imagine that 2 is 2 over 1. We want these numbers to be matching so that we can add our fractions together. I'm going to pick 4 to be the bottom number. So in order for this to be 4, if I put this on the side, 2 over 1 equals what out of 4? I need to do 1 times 4. So I must also do 2 times 4. So that will become 8 over 4. And you can see that's correct because 8 divided by 4 would be 2. So that will be plus 8 over 4. Now I have a common denominator, the bottoms are matching, of fractions of 4. I can add them together. Minus 9 plus 8 is minus 1 over 4. If you want to keep going and get the roots to this expression, missing here, equals to 0, we add the equal to 0 here. We bring the minus a quarter to the other side and it will become plus a quarter, or 0 plus a quarter. Now we take the square root. These will cancel here. Now this is a little bit tricky. You have to take, just like we had to put this power 2 on both the 3 and the 2, you have to put the root on both the 1 and the 4. So the square root of 1 is 1, and the square root of 4 is 2, and again adding that plus or minus. To finish up, we're going to have to put the minus 3 over 2 to the other side, and it will be plus 3 over 2. And then we have plus minus a half. In this situation, the x plus will be 3 plus 1 over 2, so it will be 4 over 2, which is 2. And the x minus solution will be 3 minus 1, which is 2, over 2, which is just going to be 2 divided by 2 is going to be 1. So your two answers will be x equals to 2 and x equals to 1. This is perhaps the hardest type of complete the square, when you have a number bigger than 1, 2 or 3 in front of the x squared. What I recommend that you do is divide everything by 2. We can keep that for now on the outside. So 2x squared divided by 2 is x squared, 8x divided by 2 is 4x, and 5 divided by 2 is 2.5, but it's easier to write it as 5 over 2. Then on what's left inside, you can complete the square like normal. We can have x, half of 4 is 2, x plus 2 squared. Then we will once again minus whatever number you have here, so plus 2 squared, so 2 squared. And then we'll add 5 over 2. All of this will stay inside this giant square bracket. So 2 plus x plus 2 squared minus 4 plus 5 over 2. You need to get a common denominator here of 2. So I will have that as minus 8 over 2. Again, 4 over 1 equals what out of 2? Times by 2 times by 2. That's 8 out of 2. Plus 5 out of 2. Put these two together. Minus 8 plus 3 is minus 3 over 2. And now you can multiply the 2 back in, just like you would do normally. Here you'll just have the 2 outside of the x plus 2 squared. And there you're going to have 2 times by 3 over 2. You can do this two ways. You can have 6 over 2, or you can cancel the 2's. So that will be 1 times 3 and 1 times 1. Either way, you're going to end up with 2 bracket x plus 2 squared minus 3. If you want to solve this, you need to bring, first of all, the 3 to the other side, and then divide by 2. Take the square root. In this case, you won't get you'll just have to leave it as 3 over 2, because there is no root of 3 or 2. And then you move the plus 2 to the other side, and you're finished. So that'll be minus 2 plus minus the square root of 3 over 2 as your final answer. In this situation, you've got 50 plus 10x minus x squared. This can be done similarly to if you had a 2 or something in front of the x squared by pulling out the minus. So you're going to change that minus to, put it on the outside, then you have x squared minus 10x minus 50. And then you close up the big square brackets until later. You're going to have here x, half of minus 10 is minus 5 squared, and you're going to have minus whatever number this is squared. So it doesn't matter if you've got a minus 5 here or a plus 5, because if you imagine, if you put half of minus 5 squared, minus 50, when you do minus 5 squared, you will end up with minus 25 minus 50. Put these two together and you're going to get minus 75. And then finally multiply the minus back in. So here it will go in front of the bracket like this. You can imagine it's a minus 1 if that helps you. And minus 1 times minus 75 will be plus 75. To find the root, if they ask you to put this equal to 0, you want to move this one over to the other side. Because now it's minus x minus 5 squared. So it'll be much easier to move that, leave the 75 where it is, and that will become x minus 5 squared. When you take the root, that will cancel out like we talked about. And the square root of 75, you can simplify that because that is 25 times 3. If that's confusing you, you need to go back and watch my series about surds. So this will end up being 5 square root 3 is equal to x minus 5. And for the final answer, don't forget the plus minus, for your final answer you'll have, if you move the minus 5 to the other side, plus 5 plus minus 5 square root 3. Now you can complete the square. You should do your key skill questions and you should do your exam questions. In the next section, we're going to be looking at how you can draw the graph and what complete the square can tell you about how the graph should look. That's another really common follow-on from this question. I hope you do your homework and I will see you in the next series. Bye for now. The team at Maths with Sophie have made a free ebook to go with this video series. We've broken the topic down into small, manageable sections. Each section has a video tutorial that you're already watching, interactive questions, and model solutions from exam questions. To claim your free ebook, you don't need to download anything, you don't need to sign up for anything. You simply click the link below and it will open in the web browser of your phone, tablet, or computer. If you enjoy using our free ebooks, make sure you check out our website because we have other ebooks on different topics.